Thinking chest up can limit squat depth and stress the lower back. Thinking ribs down can increase squat depth and load the legs far better. That one cue will completely change your goblet squat. And when you put all the steps together, you'll lift heavier, push yourself harder, and achieve far better gains. Let me show you what a hard set looks like. I'm gonna do 15 reps with half my body weight, which is a great standard for a serious lifter. Then I'll put those steps together. Okay, if anyone tells you goblet squats are purely for beginners, send them that clip. And imagine I'm doing 3 of those sets with about a minute to 90 seconds rest in between. So what am I feeling? I'm feeling quads, I'm feeling glutes, I'm feeling core. This is a phenomenal full body exercise, and it's very challenging if it's well executed, but it's all in the details. So let's walk through that step by step. And if after watching this, you want to know how this exercise integrates into a well-structured program, check out my Rebuild app. Starting with the setup, there are 2 ways to get the dumbbell in position. The first is to have the dumbbell in front of the feet. We're going to go down into a deadlift position, one hand over the other. You're going to swing it and catch it like so. Okay, so a bit like a clean. Now there's a knack to that, so if you don't feel confident with that, the other option is to place that dumbbell on the end of an incline bench and pick it up from there. Next is grip. Okay, so we want the base of the palms to be towards the outside of the dumbbell because it creates a straighter wrist. Pull the elbows in and pull the elbows down. That will engage the lats and stabilize the shoulders. We want the dumbbell to be as high as possible, really above the collarbones into the throat, okay? So I always say you should be able to rest your chin on top. That way, that entire dumbbell is close to your center of mass against your body, and you're not going to fatigue the arms when you perform your squat. Moving on now to stance. A really good place to start is the feet shoulder width and the toes slightly turned out. We can modify this and we'll talk about it later, but that's a great starting point. For the feet, we want to think about feeling the whole foot. The heel, the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe. Finally, torso. I'll show you from the side. We want to have the rib cage stacked over the pelvis. So before you squat, you're going to want to think about ribs down. Notice that almost shallow crunch of the upper abs. And you want to think about tucking the tailbone or reading a belt buckle, okay? That's very important because we need to create that connection so that we have a good torso position and we can engage the core well. So once you've put all those steps together, we are ready to perform our squat. So think about actively pulling yourself down. 2 cues that are helpful. 1, think elbows to thighs, and also feeling the whole foot. From here, you should feel the quads and the glutes nicely loaded. And to return to standing, we're going to push through the feet, drive the hips up and through. Let's talk about another very important element, which is breathing, okay? So we want to breathe in deeply through the nose on the way down. And as we're doing that, we want to think about an outward pushing force against the abdomen that is going to engage the core, create intra-abdominal pressure, which protects your back, okay? So let me show you that. You can hear that. You need lots of air in to create that pressure, and then we can just exhale through the nose or mouth on the return. That, again, will stabilize the back, and it will ensure that you have good airflow so you don't gas out when you're performing this exercise. So now we've talked about that, let's go over a couple of modifications that you might need to make for your unique anatomy. You've been watching me squat in lifting shoes all this time, and you might be wondering why. So let me show you. I have 2 structural limitations that make squatting a difficult movement pattern for me. 1, I have super long femurs relative to my torso length. 2, I have a very high arch, stiff foot. That means I have very limited ankle mobility. Those two things mean that if I go into a squat with a straight back, look how angled forward my torso is. This is called a very hingy squat. It's not wrong, it just means that in this position, I'm mostly loading my glutes and I'm going to feel it a lot in my lower back. I'm not doing a great job of loading my quads, so it's not very balanced. So if you have structural limitations or just anatomy that makes that movement pattern difficult for you to be quite upright, I would suggest doing the same. Use lifting shoes or put your heels on plates or use a slant board. You will find that you can load your legs a lot better and take away stress in the lower back, because we really just want to challenge the legs with this. The second modification you might need to make is your stance. So, guiding principle. You can start with the feet hip width and toes perfectly forward, squat down and up and see how that feels. Then take the feet a little bit wider, turn the toes out slightly, squat down and up again. And just keep going a little bit wider with a little bit more of a toe turnout, because we always want to keep the foot aligned with the thigh to prevent any torsional forces on the knee. And find the sweet spot for you. It's where you feel almost effortless as you squat down and up. You've got good freedom of motion, you can achieve good squat depth, and you load the legs really well. Let's troubleshoot lower back pain. The main culprit is thinking chest up, butt back. Notice when I do this, I have an arched back, and this is just as insidious as rounding the back in the bottom position. We extend and compress the lumbar spine. So the goal is to maintain a stacked rib cage over the pelvis, okay? We don't want to extend or flex the spine. So think ribs down, and then when you squat, you're more likely to be nicely stacked in the bottom position, okay? The lumbar vertebrae are like this, they're not like this. And when we're in that position, we have good core stability, we have balanced co-activation, and you shouldn't experience any lower back pain. So that's why I love that cue, ribs down, and thinking about pulling the elbows towards the thighs. The next is, I just said it, rounding the back in the bottom position. This will happen if you squat too deep, okay? We're all gonna be different. So yes, the goal is to squat as deep as you can, but as deep as you can while maintaining a neutral spine. That's going to be slightly different for everyone, so the best way to know is to film yourself and see what that point is where you need to pause and reverse on the way up. Lastly, lower back pain can occur from the way you're returning to standing. So from this position, if you think lead with the chest, you will end up, again, in extension and compression of the lower back. So from this position, you want to think about driving the hips up and through, as if trying to stack that pelvis back underneath the rib cage. That way, we're in a good position. We maintain that stacked rib cage over the pelvis from start to finish. If you experience lower back pain even after doing all that, it's likely because you're not creating enough intra-abdominal pressure. That's why I'm saying you need to breathe in deeply through the nose on the way down, and you need to think about outward pushing force against your abdomen. That is a skill that you need to master. That is going to create core activation and ensure that your back is protected from within. What if you're struggling with squat depth? Well, if you're thinking chest up, butt back, and you're in that arched position, you're gonna get blocked quite early, okay? Torso position is key. So look what happens if I just think ribs down, pelvis slightly tucked. I can access way more hip mobility, okay? So the point there is torso position and core stability unlocks hip mobility. That will solve most people's problem with depth. If not, then it could be ankle restriction. Again, for people like me who really struggle with that, wearing lifting shoes or heels on plates or using a slant board can solve that straight away. What about if your arms are giving out? Well, first make sure you are gripping properly, wrists straight, elbows in, and dumbbell high as possible. And as you squat down and up, really think about hugging that dumbbell, keeping it glued to your body, okay? The top and bottom end of the dumbbell stay connected. You're not out there, and you're not dropping it lower than your chin, okay? Those two things are gonna put so much more demand on your arms, and that way your legs are not gonna fail first, okay? So position is key to make sure that we really challenge the legs, and that's what fails first. I'm going to leave you with a few quick tips. So you can typically load a goblet squat up to 50 to 60% of your body weight before it starts to become difficult to hold such a heavy weight. If you're not there yet, that's fine. You've got loads of progression ahead of you. If you are around that point, you can still load goblet squats effectively, and here are a few tips to do that. The first is to stick to higher reps and shorter rests. So 12 to 15 reps with 60 seconds to 2-minute recoveries works well for most people. Next, you can use it as a secondary exercise. So you could do heavy split squats or lunges first, and then follow that up with goblet squats when your legs are already a bit fatigued. And lastly, you can use more advanced methods. So I love 1/1/4 goblet squats that really challenges that bottom position. I also love doing a pre-fatigue superset, my favorite being reverse Nordic curls immediately followed with goblet squats. So when you've pre-fatigued the quads, you don't need to go so heavy to still train close to failure. So I really hope those are helpful tips. I hope that video today was valuable, helps to clean up your goblet squat and get more out of it. If you'd like a program to follow that integrates the goblet squat very effectively, check out my Rebuild training app. There will be a program that's perfect for you. Thanks so much for following along. I'll see you in the next one.